Hi, sunshines. Hello, our beautiful souls. Tons of beautiful questions. I love when
Yeah.
we get the questions and we're like, ooh, so good. Mwah. It's like coffee in the morning. um, Go ahead, love. Let's get started.
Right, we're ready to wake your soul up. Hold on one moment.
Yes, waken our soul, my dear.
Question. I'm at a place where I feel good and really want to make this journey about me. My twin keeps coming around, but I feel like it's distracting me from really progressing in soul. This morning, I wanted to delete and block him from everything, even though we are in communication. But this is for me. Is this okay? Is this me running, or is it me finding solitude?
So good. Okay. There is this soul within that speaks to us and tells us more and more on how to get deeper in soul. And so in order to get deeper in soul, we get these inner, like, go this way, turn this way, stop doing that, keep doing that, right? And so when you have this inklings that says you're being too dependent on your person and you have to stop doing that and delete or block or whatever you're feeling you're innately being called to do, when you're like, we're communicating, but I'm gonna block them or delete them, like that, how does that make sense? And I think it's the 3D mind that wants to understand journey, where it wants to close. That's what I heard from that. It wants to close those leaks that is so available, that is readily giving themselves out without making their focus about them. Choosing to block and delete because you want to make your spiritual journey about yourself and you don't want any distractions, that's like pure soul mode, my love. It's like surrendered state almost. And it isn't even about them, right? It wasn't like I'm going to block and delete them because I want them to come in more. It's like they're coming in, but I'm not ready. That's what I hear. They're coming in and I'm not ready. And when you're balancing your energy, you're balancing the both of you. And there's an inkling within you that knows when they reach out, you're losing your focus on you. And then when you are no longer focused on them, you can get deeper in your spiritual growth. You can get deeper in your spirituality. And I'm going to warn you, the more you're doing that, the more your person's going to come around anyway. So don't worry about whether you're deleting or blocking, if you're running, who's running. It's none of that. Like, this is more energetic. And if you feel like you energetically still need to release, and it feels like even though you're seeing 3D come about, you could feel the energetic ties on dependency on your other self that you want to work deeper on. Like, I want to work on my spirituality and I don't need distractions right now. And I'm going to have to block or delete or do whatever I can until I balance this. And I really love, so like Elizabeth, there was a moment where she was talking to her person, but she needed to delete Twitter. So she needed to delete Twitter, and it became about, yeah, we're talking, but I don't need this space here that I feel like I'm not working on myself, and I am opening up addictive energy. So yeah, be okay with having to pull in certain openings to you, whether you got to delete, you got to block, you preserving your energy for the sake of focusing on your alignment, because it's not like they care, right? Like, love, I don't think he cared you took him out of Twitter. It was just like, whatever.
I shut down Twitter and I chose consciously to no longer leak off that, because that was the biggest thing that was making me feel so horrible each and every day. And I chose me and not letting that addiction overplay the peace that I wanted.
That's when you know your intent is pure. And so this question, I think, is so like spiritual badass of like, I choose my spiritual growth. I choose me. It might not look right. Is it okay if I do this? Because I don't want to look like I'm running. And you won't. Your energy of being balanced and focused on you won't deter your person to keep coming forward. So if you delete them from, let's say the communication, like for example, Elizabeth, Twitter, and she didn't feel good with Twitter, she'd close that communication, or you didn't use it anymore and not have to stalk. Good job, Lev. Close that leak off. But it doesn't mean now you're not going to have messaging as an option or them coming over as an option. You've just now set boundaries and how to get to you so that the way they come to you doesn't trigger you as much. The way they come to you, you're able to stay balanced, because we don't want you guys to keep hiding. Like we told you guys, we want you to be empowered spiritual badasses. We don't want you to hide from your person. We don't want you to play games. We want you to gauge your energy, own your power, own your energy, know when it's time to let go because you're in addictive energy, or know when it's okay to engage through soul. This is being able to balance.
Absolutely. I mean, we always say over and over, you're gauging progress by how you feel, and you're using your energy as keep doing this, or maybe I need to tweak and stop doing this. And without even realizing it, when I cut off the leak to Twitter, I had chosen me. I cut off Twitter. Like I said, I actually chose that avenue doesn't make me feel good. So I'm going to cut it off, because why am I keeping something that is available that makes me feel so intensely gross? And it has that regret and shame after you leak, right? Like that addictive hit is, to me, is really, really gross. And I chose at that point, I'm not going to do this anymore. There's no point in this. And like Joanne said, there was another avenue, because then he would text me. And then when I stopped as being as needy and dependent on those texts from him, suddenly he's showing up. And it's all a progress. It's all a process of getting to the place where you don't care either way about what they're thinking, doing, or feeling, and what their next move is, because you are so focused on yourself that your thoughts are, what's my next move? I'm going to just keep showing up. You're not doing anything. So if you're worried about blocking them and looking like you're running or anything else, then you're still caring about what they're thinking, doing, or feeling. And you need to bring that intention back to what's going to make me feel good at this moment. And if it's not blocking them, then you don't have to block them. If blocking them is going to be something within you that doesn't feel good, then allow that to be your gauge. But be honest with yourself. Are you using that outlet to leak? Any form of communication to leak off of? You need to be honest with yourself. And then that's when you're going to have to close that gap up. If it is doing you more harm than it is good, that's where being real and authentic and knowing what your intention is plays such a pivotal role in this connection, because you can't BS your soul. Your soul feels your energy. So if you're keeping open that is making you have addictive push energy, surprise, you don't have to tell them. They feel it, and it's going to keep pushing them away. So choose you, always choose you, and let your energy be your guidance system.
As it's energetic. So like we have clients, as soon as they didn't block or delete, they restricted. As soon as they restricted their profile from their other self came forward really instantly. And so it's almost like energy, their energy that I'm sure was leaking when they weren't restricted was always going to them. And when they close that off, their soul can feel that, right? So that's what we want you guys to get out of this beautiful question is, don't try to figure out what it looks like in the 3D. Who's running? Am I running? Are they not going to be able to find me? That's totally focused on them. Elizabeth's right. when you gauge how your energy is going out, and if you're keeping your energy in, you'll know which tools to keep and maintain. And if that means closing everything for now until you can gauge which ones are leaks and which ones are not, then that's what you do. Or if it is, hey, you know what? Social media makes me leak because I look at what they're doing, thinking and feeling, then yeah, you need to close that. You need to gauge yourself, even if it means just deleting the app or restricting it so that you are not leaking and no longer focusing on yourself and making it about that.
Miss, real quick.
Yeah.
This includes, hold on, I want to bring up, this includes other things too. So for example, I kept my person's letter that my Dear John, literally my Dear John letter that he left in the door, that started my dark night. I kept that letter in my work desk for months until I realized, why am I keeping something that every time I look at it brings me pain? Why would I hold on to this? And I threw it away. So we need to be able to be honest with ourselves and be able to remove those things that cause us suffering, whether it's an old shirt lying around your house that belongs to the other person, whether it's a toothbrush maybe in the cabinet, whether it's a picture on your phone. These things can all be leaks. And if you're using them to get a hit or to be in a place where you sort of get that energy hit from that item, then you're pushing. And that's where those things all need to be removed. So when we say detox from or blocking your person, that also can include these inanimate objects that bring up a lot of energy from the past. And it's okay to let go of these things.
It's all part of that detox. You're detoxing from the energy of however way you're still keeping the addictive energy alive.
Yeah, because it's there. You're keeping it in your house. You're keeping that toxic energy that was there. And that's why it's like, to be quite honest, I had a sign made when I first moved into my last house with my person. I found that sign in my closet, and it's this beautiful wooden personalized sign. And I told my person, I said, I'm throwing this out. And he said, why? And he looks at it, he goes, yeah, you're probably right. You probably should throw that out. That house was never really our home. So I threw out this personalized, custom, beautiful wood sign that we had made because it no longer resonated, and the energy that was attached to it kind of gaps, being toxic energy within you now. It's really, really helpful. You say goodbye to it, and I tell you, you're not going to regret saying goodbye to things that have toxic energy. It's not like the toxic energy just goes away and suddenly feels amazing, 10 months from now. A picture that created so much toxic energy, usually maybe it could be a neutral, but you're never going to look at it and be like, ooh, I love this picture, a picture that always created toxic energy.
Think about that too, because soul doesn't go back. It doesn't go back. It's all in the now. Soul is all in the now. And so when you're holding on to these stories, you're holding on to energy, like past energy. And especially if those energies just don't resonate anymore, they're addictive. It doesn't have the same vibration that this now moment has. You can let it go. You can let go pictures, memories. And when you think about that, that's being present. Releasing past is being present in the now. And that's really where you can always only thrive, is in the now. You ready for the next one, Lev?
Ready for the next one. Okay.